Well, I'm Leah Shakdiel. I am an Israeli Zionist, a Jewish Orthodox woman. I was born in Israel, in Jerusalem, and a little bit over 30 years ago I decided to go live in a very small community in the Negev Desert in the south of the country. It's called Yerucham, because my politics were left of center, and at the time, people from my generation went to live in the occupied territories as settlers, and I felt that was terrible. And I was involved in all kinds of political activities in Jerusalem, in the peace camp, and offering a different reading of Judaism that did not command that, but rather commanded us to pursue peace. And but I felt that we needed to exemplify a different type of activist Zionism. It wasn't enough to just go to demonstrations and give out leaflets and sign petitions. We needed to show that it was possible to do something else. And the issue of social justice was very important to us. So I went to live with a group of other people in a small community, which was it's made up of people who were put there by the government, immigrants from non-European countries, mainly in Northern Africa, but also India and Iran. And I think that was the most important decision of my life, to go live there. My parents' decision was to leave Poland before World War II and become Zionist pioneers and join in the effort of creating a state for the Jewish people in the land of Israel. The main thing that my generation is to be involved with is the trying to make Israel as a natural part of the Middle East, living in peace with its neighbors. We've come a long way in the 35 years that I've been in the peace camp, from a point where no single Arab country would accept Israel, to a point where the Arab world is saying, well, de facto, this is a part of the Middle East. In addition to what I consider like the obvious thing, that every human being was created in the image of God, and therefore we have to treat them with the basic human rights. I was one of the surprises that I had was that I discovered that this is quoted from not only from the Bible, but also from the Mishnah, the beginning of the Talmud. There is a section that says that every human soul is like a whole world. And if you save one human soul, it's as if you saved the whole world. If you destroy one human soul, it's as if you destroyed the whole world. That is quoted in the Quran, in the 5th surah, from the Jewish sources. And that was a big surprise to me. And I said, my God, here we have a source that can really brings together Jews and Muslims, and we can, not just Christians, and we can really rally around that. Jews as a sovereign people over a territory in Dar el-Islam in the Middle East, that's a new thing. For me, the new thing is Jews as a sovereign people in the ancient land where I need to develop a new concept of sovereignty that takes in shared citizenship and rights with other people. That's new, I claim. And you can tell that I'm excited. I'm very passionate about it because I know how difficult it is. And I think that the first step is to admit that we are in the business of creating new forms of being Jewish today, as Zionists and as a sovereign people. Finally, we have a state of our own. It has been an exciting project for the early Zionists, and also in the first years of the State of Israel in the early 50s, there were lots of Jews who understood that this is what needs to be done, and there were important rabbis and scholars and religious figures and even politicians who were busy working on it. Recently, the people who work on it are the right-wingers, and they are the ones who think that Jewish sovereignty tells us to go back to the Bible and do all kinds of atrocious things that are there in ancient Jewish sources. And this is ridiculous. You know, we should fight that and say, yes, we must go back to the idea of creating a Jewish democracy in our days. What does it mean? What does it mean? A state for the Jewish people that has full respect for non-Jews. We must go back to the effort of creating that.